What is up, everybody? Professional wrestler Chris Wilde here with another live stream on Eagles News Now. This is kind of an impromptu thing. As you may remember, last week had some serious technical difficulties. Hopefully cleared that up. Again, this is kind of a test, as I feel like I say every time I do one of these live streams. But this is a special one because as of this morning, I woke up out of bed, and we live in such a negative world nowadays with COVID-19. There's just so many things. Summer 2020 is kind of shut down by the coronavirus. So, every day you kind of look at your feed or look at the news and you're wondering what bad news you're going to hear next. Well, it didn't happen that way for me this morning as I woke up and I was only 5 subscribers away from 1,000. A couple days ago, I was at 900. So went to work out, and that's when I saw that I've reached that we have reached over 1,000 views, or I'm sorry, subscribers on this channel. And I know, like a lot of you that watch a lot of YouTube, probably are thinking, what's the big deal? There's so many guys out there with, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Well, the big deal for me, and I have a video that I made that I'm just waiting to edit and put up. But the big deal for me is, I've got a goal board. And a lot of people have these, and I think they're really important to have because it keeps a reminder of you can set so many things in your mind of what you're going to do, but when you have a visual reminder every day that it's got to be done, it really helps. And I have a goal board, and one of the big goals when I started this a couple off seasons ago, actually last off season, was hit 1,000 subscribers. And then the other goal is to win the WWE title at WrestleMania. Now, look, I know I'm far away from one, but I have reached this goal, and it just is absolutely awesome. Feels great. It may not be the championship at WrestleMania, but it sure do feels like I feel like a champ right now. And again, you might think it's silly, but it's just a good feeling. And really, Stephen Joyce, what's going on, man? Stephen was here for that debacle last week with all the difficulties, but as I say, I'm a professional wrestler, so I used to do quite a bit of traveling, traveling independent circuit. And wrestling was just a normal thing. It was a part of my weekly routine. I would, leave my family and travel wherever on the weekends, wrestle. And it was such a release for me because it's a passion of mine. Wrestling, it became more than a job. It became a passion, ever since I was a kid. I've got friggin' Hasbro wrestling figures behind me. Ever since I was a kid, it was just something I always wanted to do. And now I was doing it, and at sometimes on the biggest of stages. And COVID-19 came and just completely made that disappear. And while I loved the time, I still do love the extra time with my family, there's still that void inside of me, that going, no matter how many times I go to the gym or how many times I train in the ring, without having that release that a live crowd gave me, or just that feeling. And wrestlers know it's hard to explain. I'm sure other athletes know. There's a certain feeling, a certain adrenaline rush that goes behind. It's like a high, I guess, behind actually wrestling a match. So with that being gone, this fills a big void. Doing this absolutely fills a void. And I was still doing this while I wrestled, but that's another thing. COVID-19 has actually let me do this more, and I'm loving it. And like I said, wrestling is a passion of mine, and now this has also become a passion of mine as well. And I just want to thank everybody out there that has supported me. I got, even though he's playing video games right now, my best friend Zach Connor, a lot of support. Guys like Stephen Joyce. I can't. I'm not going to name everyone because I'll leave somebody out, and I don't want to be that person. But yeah, man. The guys from 4th and John for shouting me out whenever they can. It's just awesome. It's just having 1,000 subscribers is just absolutely awesome. NFL Report with Shane, thanks, man. And when you really think about it, like just having one or two people watch what you say or watch content of yours, I mean, that's a special thing. I always took it for granted, especially in wrestling. I do have a wrestling YouTube channel, which I have just neglected to hell, because it's really hard to get footage of your matches, believe it or not. But I kind of, and it's hard to explain to people, but by neglecting that and pushing this, I've seen how important this kind of stuff is. And I'm definitely working on the wrestling channel as well. But man, we're getting close to a football season. Bazooka Joe, that's my other best friend. Thanks, dude. He's a big supporter out there in San Diego, California, enjoying all that beautiful weather and not having to deal with any of this humidity that we have over here in Delaware. But yeah, I mean, it's awesome. And the Philly Talk, dude, I meant to get with you on Twitter. This week has been absolutely crazy. I definitely would love to collaborate, man. Once I get a hold of this whole StreamYard and live streaming is extremely new to me, like extremely new. Last week, I mean, I had so many issues. Like it wasn't even funny. And then my job besides wrestling, I work in a prison. I mean, so you could just imagine it's been insane there. And my boy JD Chinny Chinless in the chat, man, you talk about, this is a guy, I'm gonna shout you out real quick, with tons of passions, man. Like, go to his Facebook page. I think you're painting now. You're doing a bunch of good stuff there. This dude has passion for everything that he does. And also your Chinny Chinless character is pretty damn funny as well. But look, man, I'm in here to talk some Eagles. We've had an interesting week. It's weird because when you think about it, we would be like two preseason games in right now. And with the preseason being absolutely eliminated, it's just hard to think about or believe right now that it's just hard to believe that there's not going to be any preseason this year, that literally less than a month away, we're going to be watching a real game. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but there's got to be something that the players – it's going to be sloppy football probably for the first 3 weeks, I'm going to guess. But it's got to feel weird to the players too. And I know Doug Peterson said during his press conference, and Dougie is back from COVID. Doug Peterson beat COVID too, and he's actually going to be back for the first padded practice. But he said he's trying to remind these guys, look, it's not May. It's not May and June. It's August. Like, we have a game soon. So that's Eagles champs. What's up? So it's going to be weird, man. It's got to be weird for them. It really has to be. I mean, if it's weird for us, I just can imagine. But Eagles champs brings up Kez Watkins. I want to talk about this wide receiver core. Look, I mean, we do this a lot. I've done this every year, it seems like. Week one against the Washington team would probably, hopefully, be a preseason game. Hopefully we don't take them lightly. Jocktalkk, what's going on, man? Another guy was with me last week. But every year, I look at this wide receiver core, and I remember last year being really excited about it with Alshon, Deshaun. I thought for some reason Mac Hollins was going to look good. I thought Nelson Aguilar was going to be better because Deshaun was there. I thought J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was actually a good pick, actually a good second-round pick. I really thought that. And obviously, we saw what happened. Deshaun gets hurt. Alshon gets hurt. There's supposed issues with Alshon and Carson. Practice squad wide receivers come in. We still end up beating the Cowboys and winning the East, even with all that mess. So now I look at this year's wide receiver core, and I feel like I'm doing it again. And maybe I have to halt, and maybe I have to put on the brakes. But, man, I'm looking at a guy. I mean, everybody saw that. I posted a video up. I think Philly Talk did as well, with Kez Watkins just absolutely destroying, ripping out Rasul Douglas's heart. And again, we all saw the Darius Slay and Deshaun Jackson video as well. And I kind of feel bad putting up those videos because the wide receivers, it's a non-contact drill. So at the line of scrimmage, and if I'm wrong, please somebody correct me in the chat. At the line of scrimmage, these guys don't get any physical. They're not allowed to press any of the wide receivers. So when a DB presses a wide receiver at the line, they're bracing themselves to be able to take on a guy faster than them, which most wide receivers, I think is safe to say, are faster than a defensive back. Most of them. Again, I could be wrong. I mean, Alshon's probably not faster than any of the DBs that we're going to face. But so when you see Deshaun Jackson flying by Darius Slay, it doesn't mean Darius Slay is a bum. It doesn't mean Darius Slay is toast. It just means that, I mean, Deshaun Jackson is really fast. So, but you look at Quez Watkins, if you guys saw that highlight. Quez Watkins, I mean, it was like the tortoise and the hare. Like, Rasul didn't stand a chance at all. Rasul could have tried to run him over with a car at the line of scrimmage. He wouldn't have stood a chance. And Quez gets by him. Carson throws a pretty good ball, which, again, has kind of, we haven't talked about Wentz in these clips. Throwing some pretty good balls. Again, they're non-contact. He doesn't have anybody pressing up against him either. But Quez Watkins, dude, is – I've watched highlights. I did a video about him months ago. This dude – so you see guys that are fast like him, and most of the time they're one-trick ponies, you know? I think it's Shelton Gibson. One-trick pony pretty much. I mean, if he gets pressed at all, he's done. But one-trick pony, fast guy, whatever. I think Bryce Tregg's the same kind of player. Quez Watkins, go back, look at his highlights. I know they're highlights. They're only going to show the good stuff. But this guy is good in the red zone. This guy is a good possession receiver as well as being fast. And I saw him, and I said it, like I said, months ago, that he was going to be something, and I really do believe he's going to be something. And again, in the chat, I think Eagles 1 said Quez Watkins is a stud. And look, Jalen Reagor too. Jalen Reagor, maybe I'm just being too much of a homer. Maybe I'm just being too much of a homer right now. But Jalen Reagor to me, and this is a guy I didn't really, before the draft, I looked at him as a day 2 guy. You know what I'm saying? I looked at him as a day 2 wide receiver, along with Brandon Ayuk. Apparently, I was very wrong, and I admitted to being wrong after really looking at some game tape and not just highlights. And he looks like the real deal. He's got a chip on his shoulder, too. He acts like – the eye test is a lot, too. He acts like a big-time wide receiver when you see him. He really does. I think he's going to have a great season. Maniac Matt, as crazy as it sounds, I like Hightower over Watkins. So I like John Hightower, too. I'm not as high on him as I am Quez Watkins. But you're not the first person that has said that. A lot of people have talked about Hightower, even in some situations, starting over Jalen Reagor. Again, we'll see. I don't know. Quez Watkins has more of it than John Hightower to me. And again, who knows? We haven't seen these guys play one snap in the NFL. Going back to Chinny Chinless says, what's the situation with the fans at NFL games this year? Are they going to allow at least 25% into these games? Or is it going to be just like Major League Baseball with no fans at all? Great question. So let's pause on the wide receivers for a minute. So the deal with the NFL, and I'm really glad you asked this question because it's something I've wanted to rant about for a while. So Major League Baseball says no fans anywhere. NHL, no fans anywhere. NBA, same thing. The NHL and the NBA are in the bubbles because basically it's their playoff time. With the NHL, actually both situations. I mean, they played a couple games, regular games. The NFL is not going to have anybody in the bubble, and they haven't come out with a blanket statement. They haven't said it's all or nothing. So Jerry Jones gets on TV or on the radio or whatever it was and says that he's planning on having – he doesn't say how many. He said he's planning on having Cowboy fans at every game. To me, it's unfair if it's not blanket. If the governor of Pennsylvania says no fans at Eagle games, but Texas, who is a hotbed for COVID-19, allows fans, it's an unfair advantage. It really is. So I think there's got to be a blanket statement, rather none or 25% or 50% or whatever. There's got to be plans in place, and it really bothers me that they don't have a plan in place yet. I really thought that there would at least be 25% fans at these games. Of course, tickets would be absolutely insane to get. But I figured there would at least be 25%. that they would figure it out with the social distancing, 1 or 2 a seat. They figure out the bathroom situation, probably no food sold at games or drink, which would be crazy. I mean, the money that they'd probably be losing there. But nothing so far, nothing from the NFL. And this is, again, we are 3 weeks away from the Eagles game. Donnie Beck, what's up, man? Yo, 12-4 is my exact prediction for the Eagles this year. And Donnie Beck says Eagles aren't fucking around this year. They're going to go 12-4. I can see it. I can really see it because, on paper, the schedule looks rough. But I think defense is better. Marquand Manuel, the DB coach, I think he's one of the best defensive backs coaches in the league. He was Atlanta's defensive coordinator. He coached up that great Legion of Boom team. And again, how much coaching do you have to do with the guys that they had in that secondary? But he knows what talent is. He knows how to scheme these guys. And I think our DBs, I mean, I know Chinny Tillis is a Packer fan. He ain't agreeing with that 12-4. But the thing with the DBs, yes, Rasul Douglas, look, I liked Rasul Douglas back in 2017. I thought he really showed some promise. Ever since then, the guy's a bum. I'm sorry. Call me a hater, but the dude's a bum. So him getting destroyed by Kez Watkins, I'm not even throwing in the mix. Again, I told you, if Darius Slay, if it was a little bit more fair, there's a little more contact, I don't think Deshaun would have got ahead of Darius Slay. I don't think it would have looked as bad as it did. But they've got a lot of pieces in that secondary that they got to do a lot of different things with. Will Parks, one of my favorites from Philly, came from Denver, and he had a media day where he said they were putting him all over the place. And I think that's what a lot of these guys, Nicole Roby-Coleman, a lot of these dudes, they can just put wherever. Avonte Maddox, Crevon LeBlanc, I mean, Sidney Jones, Mike Kay put out a great article I want to talk about later this week about it's crazy about Sidney Jones's leg and one being bigger than the other. I don't know if you guys have seen that. But Sid last year, towards the end of the year, man, he made some big plays for us. And again, with the coaching, look, Corey Unlin, I've never been a Corey Unlin fan. Okay. I don't understand him getting he's defensive coach defensive head coach now in Detroit, I believe. I don't understand it because this guy, he is one of these coaches that you see a lot of the defensive backs not looking for the football ever. And that's coaching to me. Chinny says Green Bay versus the Eagles. That would be awesome. I think we play in the regular season at Lambeau. How weird is it going to be if Lambeau Field has no fans? That is going to be insane. It really is. The Packers always give us trouble. Last year's game was pretty awesome. Donnie Beck says a good defense is a great offense. We were crippled last year, made the playoffs. Greg Ward, Malik Jackson, Hargrave, Rager, Hightower, and the gang will make it happen. Watch. I share that same belief, and it makes me sound like a homer. But look, man, they've got a lot of – Greg Ward is underrated. I saw some people saying he might not make the team. They don't think he's going to make the team. I think he's going to make the team, dude. With 100% for what he can do. I'm really surprised that Doug didn't have him throw the ball at all last year. Malik Jackson coming back again, another dude with a chip on his shoulder. Hargrave is absolutely awesome. Fletch is back. That line, look, I know Dallas added Everson Griffin, and that stung a little bit because Griffin was one of the guys I wanted. But I think this line is going to be really good. And then Rager, Hightower, Watkins. Man, it sucks Goodwin's not going to be there, but I understand. They say Alshon might be there in September. And people, like, one of the questions I got last week was, who's the most underrated Eagle wide receiver? And I think it's Alshon Jeffrey, as crazy as that sounds. People really discount Alshon Jeffrey. The noise about him and Carson, I think it's just noise at this point because he wasn't traded or released or anything. Like, I mean, I can't see them having a cancer just stick around because of money. Howie Roseman has made some dumb moves concerning money, and I just can't see them keeping him. I just can't see it if he's going to make that big a disturbance. And he's a good wide receiver. Has he lost some speed? Absolutely. But I think he's a good wide receiver, a number one wide receiver, and he's going to help everybody around him. He really is. So let's see what we got here. Cox's going to have a hell of a year. I believe so too. Bird Gang 1017. Why can't I do him like that? Man, that I'm telling you, it was nasty. And what I really love about this guy, man, is look at some of his highlights. He's not just a one-trick pony. This guy does it in the red zone. I mean, I hate to throw the Antonio Brown card out there, but Antonio Brown is a 6th-round pick. A lot of people have this stigma that just because wide receivers are picked like in round 5 or later, they're not going to be good. And I just don't – we had such a stacked wide receiver class this year that some of these guys picked in the 6th and 7th round are going to be good more than before. And now we talk back to we go back to defense here. I'm a little bit all over the place, but hey, it is what it is. It's a free-for-all. My man Carlos says that he's really feeling Kevon Wallace, another guy that I think is going to be a steal for the Birds. Again, it's just, we say it in wrestling. I've said it in all my live streams. It's called the it factor. You can just tell when a guy has it. You just can. You can tell. When you looked at a guy, quarterback like Kevin Cobb, he had that face. It just did not look like he was going to be a good quarterback at all. And he wasn't. You can pick a number of guys. But this Wallace, man, again, swagger, confidence, roomed with Brian Dawkins' son, talked to Brian Dawkins, the shirt that I'm wearing right here from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It just seems like it's meant to be. And with the great D-line, like Jocktalkk says, I can't wait to see our D-line eat. This secondary, man, they're going to have a good time out there. They really are. And yeah, Watkins, man, he is, I'm telling you, it's crazy because, again, 6th-round pick, people kind of discount it, but he's going to do some stuff. And also, I don't know about you guys, but our punt return and kick return game last year drove me nuts. I like this comment here. I'm going to post it. Nobody fucking with the hell the Eagles team clicking on all cylinders. And look, it's been a while since we've had one of those, but I agree. The speed of this team, finally having a fast team, is going to just do great. I'll tell you what I want to talk about. We've talked about the wide receivers. We've bit into the defense, except we've ignored one area, and it's the area that the Eagles are ignoring too. And it's starting to worry me. The linebackers, guys. Holy shit. The linebackers, this team has just ignored the position completely. Jatavius Brown retired. I mean, they signed him in the offseason. He was probably going to be a special teams guy at best. They picked up Bradley in the draft. Davion Taylor, who, look, man, I have all the hopes for. He's athletic. He's fast. He's just not that big. I feel like we're missing that big linebacker, that Nigel Bradham, that monster. TJ Edwards, is he going to have a better year than last year? Probably. This is an undrafted free agent, but I just feel like there's a bunch. Nate Gary, I've never been a big Whitesnake fan, never been a big Nate Gary fan. I feel like there's just guys that are just, there's no real leader there. And hopefully I'm wrong. Sometimes we think, like last year, I thought the wide receivers were going to be a strength and it ended up being a weakness. Hopefully this year, man, some of these guys, maybe the Davion Taylors of the world step up. Maybe TJ Edwards really does take a big leap. But they're going to be hurting. I want to do a video on this guy, Dante Olson. He is a tackling machine. Again, I'm not even sure if he's going to make the team, but I know I've heard that coaches really like the guy. And let me just check out some of these comments if I missed some stuff. Yeah, Maniac Matt, I agree with you. Our special teams had us driven 75 yards every drive, so any improvement would be huge. Give Carson a short field. Yeah, absolutely. And, man, I'll tell you, we talk about how long Carson having a short or long field. Some drives that the Eagles had last year, and, again, this has to do with them being a slow team. It felt like they would go on these long drives and get 3 points all the time. And hopefully that doesn't happen this year. Hopefully we hit more home runs than we do singles. Bazooka Joe, are there any notable Eagles players sitting out this year? So Marquise Goodwin, of course, wide receiver that I was very, very excited about, coming off of an injury from the 49ers, one of the fastest NFL players. I mean, he's sitting there talking shit with Tyreek Hill about who would win in a race. I'm getting excited about this guy. Again, swagger, it factor, it's got it all. And seemed like you have a big chip on his shoulder as well from being traded. Again, everything seemed to be lining up. And, he's got a young daughter, and he's had a history of trying to stay respectful, but like miscarriages and things like this, where he did not want, if there was even a 5% chance that he'd get his family sick, no way. He didn't want any chance. So he's going to go ahead and sit out. And that's it as far as the Eagles go. And I respect the fact, because he's going to be missing out on a lot of money too. I mean, he's going to get paid, but not his full contract. And I respect that, man. I respect any of these guys. I think the Patriots had like 7 or 8 players in retrospect sit out because of COVID. But these guys that are willing to, we're talking a couple million probably lose. It's such a tough thing. And there's so many opinions about COVID-19. There's so many. I've heard them all. I'm on the fence with the whole thing, because working where I do in a prison, I've seen the worst of it. I've seen coworkers get it really, really bad, to the point where they didn't know if they were going to live. Like, they're filling out their wills and shit. Like, I mean, it's a tough thing. By the way, anybody watching on Facebook, again, I don't normally post anything about this channel on my wrestling Facebook. Figured as I stream, might as well, just to see how everything's going. Please go to YouTube, because it's hard to see you guys' comments on here. But I think my cousin Mike Zielinski is watching. What's up, Mike, dude? We haven't talked in a while. I'd love to definitely catch up with you. Kyle Matt, that I work with, big Eagle fan, watching on Facebook as well. So yeah, guys, what do you guys think about these linebackers? Again, Jorge, which is my father's name, asked about Malcolm Jenkins. Donnie Beck, talk about the prison. Prison is a tough place. A lot of psychopaths there. Yeah, the thing is, at the end of the day, why you say like there are a lot of psychopaths there, like there are also a lot of good. This is going to sound weird, but there's a lot of good people that are living there. That just made 1 or 2 mistakes, man. A lot of them just made a really bad mistake and are there and are doing their time. And they're people, man. But again, then there are a lot of really bad people, evil. There's a lot of evil there. But there are a lot of also just people just trying to make right with some bad mistakes they did. So you get the good and the bad. And there's some crazy people that I actually work with also. But going back to the Malcolm Jenkins question, I think getting rid of Malcolm Jenkins was a good idea. Oh, man. Dude, I did a video about they needed to pay this guy. Leader off the field, leader in the locker room. For a team that has players getting hurt all the time, this is a guy, Malcolm Jenkins, was the Iron Man. He had played every defensive snap, I believe, since Doug took over the team. I think he played a year with Chip too. I don't know what his snap count was with them, but I really hated seeing him go. I really thought that he had to, that they needed to pay this guy, because he had proven it to me, and I think to the city. What a big piece, and you could tell he didn't want to leave Philly. I mean, you look at after he signed with the Saints, he was in Philly for a lot of demonstrations and a lot of things. So was it a good idea? I can't look you straight in the face and say getting rid of a guy like Malcolm Jenkins is a good idea, because it's just not. We've been through it before with number 20, my favorite Eagle ever. And I kind of saw the same thing with Jank. I'm not saying Jenkins is anywhere near the player that Brian Dawkins was. He might be pretty damn close. That hit in the Super Bowl, I mean, knocked the player out. That could have really hurt us in Brandon Cooks. But I do like what they've done since they decided not to sign Jenkins. They brought a lot of good players in here, a lot of guys that I think are going to help out. I would have rather had, as much as I love Will Parks, I would have really rather had them draft a guy like Kevon Wallace to learn underneath a guy like Malcolm Jenkins. Jalen Mills, we'll see what he's going to look like in that position. We'll see what he's going to look like. I think, again, a little bit of a homer in me remembers the Patriot game and thinking, man, Mills is playing pretty good in that position. And then looking at his college stuff, I mean, again, he's another guy with a chip on his shoulder, and we don't have to really worry that much of him getting bit on those double moves. So we'll see. But I think Kevon Wallace is going to be the guy most likely. Carlos says, are we going to pay Ertz? And I get to that. Are we going to pay Zach Ertz? So I think so. I do. And I completely agree with it. And I know, look, a lot of eye rolling is going to happen because we have a guy like Dallas Goedert, right, who looks like he's going to be absolutely awesome. I mean, this guy has, again, go ahead and start with the eyes rolling before I say it. He's got Gronk-like potential, man. He really does. But I feel like I need to see more before I'm going to sit here and say don't pay Zach Ertz or trade Zach Ertz. And I know a lot of guys out there, a lot of friends of mine, a lot of subscribers would rather have us trade Zach now, get something good. Again, draft picks, what will they be with no college football? I don't know. Get something good because Zach is pretty much at his peak right now. And then we still have Dallas. But the thing is with me, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Dallas Goedert's going to be. I know what Zach Ertz is. And I think if Zach Ertz was on any other team, if Zach Ertz was on the Panthers and was in this situation, we would all be screaming for Howie Roseman to go and trade for Zach Ertz. It's absolutely what we would do. And it's not – I'm not even going to talk about him being Carson went close with Carson and Carson's favorite target either. But I think we should – and Edwin says that Ertz is the best route runner in the NFL. I mean, could be. He's the only thing I don't like about Zach is he's not, and we call him sometimes Yak Ertz when he gets some yards after the catch because he doesn't do that much. I think Dallas Goedert is a little bit more dynamic. But again, I got to see more. I mean, and I'm not trying to. I'm really not trying to talk a lot of shit on Dallas Goedert. I don't want you to think I hate Dallas Goedert because I don't. I really like him. But I remember a couple games last year with the soft tissue problem, and I remember Zach Ertz last year playing with broken ribs and a lacerated kidney. So again, he's tough as nails. Definitely on his way to a Hall of Fame. Not only that, but let's not forget. I know we can't live in the past forever, but he did have that Super Bowl winning catch. Something that a lot of us didn't think we'd be able to say as Eagle fans. But yeah, I mean, pay him. And apparently, again, this is something I planned on doing later in a video. George Kittle might have broke some news. They were asking George Kittle about his big contract, and he said, something around the lines of tight ends are finally getting recognized, and he knows that Ertz is about to get paid too. So maybe that's just him speculating, but he did say that. Yeah, I saw. Let me go back here. Let's see. Jorge, my dad loves his name, brother. Be happy about that name. Loves it. Jocktalkk, I saw this too. Pro Football Talk had Dallas rated over Ertz. Look, a lot of this, guys, with this outside media, and it's a lot of the reason why I decided to start doing this stuff, this podcasting and YouTubing. I love listening to the radio. I used to love listening to sports talk radio. 94.1 was like my go-to, basically because it was the only Philly channel I could get. I came in super clear in Delaware, but it's got to the point where they just do stuff just to get us going. They just do because there's no more passionate fans than Philly fans. So they throw some stuff out there, like the thing with Carson not making the top 100. They throw it out there because they know we're going to talk about it, and people are going to now go to that top 100 list. They're going to get the clicks, and that's what this is. That's what this Pro Football Talk thing with Dallas over Ertz. Now, is it as crazy as Carson not cracking the 100? No, but again, there's no way that you can say. I just don't think that there's a way you can say right now, as we sit here on August 15th, that Dallas Goedert is better than Zach Ertz. I just don't see it. And Edwin says it's right there. Ertz had the biggest game when it counts. Absolutely. You can't – and I feel like this is a guy – and last year he proved it, that he's tough as nails and that he's going to be in there. So – yeah, I say you pay him. Now, again, the Eagles cap situation is kind of crazy right now, to be honest with you. But that's what we got a guy like Howie Roseman for, is to kind of set that up. But Rell, what's up, brother? Says, honestly, believe Miles Sanders will have 1,000 on the ground this year. Let's get into running backs while we're at it. Let's get hell with it, free for all. Let's get into running backs. The Eagles running back group scares the hell out of me. I'm not going to lie to you. The reason why is because they have the potential to be absolutely amazing probably one of the best groups in the league, or really bad. And when I say really bad, I'm not talking about Miles Sanders because I think he's going to be awesome. But if, knock on wood, something happens to Miles Sanders, what do we have after that? We've got Boston Scott, who I love him for the shout out, love Boston Scott, Corey Clement, who is a Super Bowl hero, and then some really young guys, Michael Warren, who I just love. I did a video on him too. Adrian Killins, is he going to make the team? I'm not sure, but I feel like we need another veteran behind Miles. I just can't. Miles and Boston are so much alike. I mean, Boston is kind of like, I don't mean this disrespectfully, but he's almost like the dollar store version of Miles, if you know what I mean. I feel I would have loved a Devontae Freeman, which is still out there, but I feel like Washington might take a look at him. It's just somebody that, if again, there were games where I think Miles Sanders missed with a game pretty much missed the whole Giant game, the second Giant game. I need a guy, and don't get me wrong, in that same game, this is making my point look dumb, Boston Scott absolutely went off. But I just feel like we need another guy, another veteran in there that can be in there. But I think Miles is going to be awesome. I see it with this team. I saw it in the 2017 team. Guys that are having this chip on their shoulder, man. Like, these guys are like, man, it's like they've got Lane Johnson. I saw him. He looks like Goldberg now. I saw him talking about these guys are just like they have something to prove to everybody. And Jock is talking about Corey. Donnie's talking about Corey. Look, Corey Clement, and he's actually a local. I think he's from Jersey. I had real big hopes for Corey Clement after the Super Bowl, and he got hurt. When he got hurt that year, I believe, towards the end of the year, that's when Josh Adams came in. And then, of course, he got hurt last year. And I've heard a lot about him looking really good in camp and that he looks like he's back. If he's back, then we probably don't have much to worry about. Again, if all three of those guys are completely healthy, nobody works these guys better than Deuce. Deuce made Adams look like a really solid starting running back for a couple games a couple years ago. And Deuce does an amazing job with these guys. But I think that again, I just don't want to see what's happened to the wide receiver group, happen to the running back. I just feel like we need another man. Can you imagine Miles Sanders, Devontae Freeman, and Boston Scott with Corey Clement sprinkled in there? I think that would be a really amazing group. I'm going to give a little shout out to my little one. It's getting time for her to go to bed though. That was an awesome play, the Super Bowl. And I'll talk about Super Bowl 52 anytime something comes up. So, but yeah, that Clement catch was absolutely awesome. And can you believe that one of the things that knocked him out of the draft that year was people said that he couldn't catch? Rosenpool's great midseason trade. We'll see. I mean, I hope so. I really do. He kind of disappointed me last year when all we had was Jannard Avery, who as a missing link on that line that we're not talking about. Actually, I'll go back to talk about linebackers real quick before I talk about Killins. They're talking about Avery might move back into linebacker because he played it in college. So that might be something that they look into there. This is an athletic guy that I know the people in Cleveland, when he was there, he's only got 2 years in the league. He couldn't get along with management there. I know people in Cleveland were pissed off when he got traded. The Eagles gave him a 4th-round pick for him. I mean, it's kind of a high pick, guys. So they've got to get what they can get out of Jannard Avery. And then what do I think about Killins? Dude, I think he is one of the fastest running backs I've ever seen. A lot of people looked at me and said, does he give you Donnell Pumphrey vibes? Not at all. This dude, the Eagles need speed, and they need it in that punt return game too. I mean, I just sat there. It was for games last year at the link. I was at 3 or 4 games last year, and I just sat there and watched Greg Ward take and even Darren Sproles on some occasions, just fair catch after fair catch after fair catch when there was obvious running room ahead of them. And I need a guy that, and again, you want a guy to be smart with the ball, but I need a guy that's not afraid either. And Adrian Killins, if he can make this team somehow, and again, without these preseason games, I don't even know how to judge them. I don't know how to judge them, and I'm hoping that the coaches do, because sometimes preseason games can make or break guys. I mean, I know Corey Clement. I can't remember who it was with. It was between him and another guy, and the preseason kind of got him on the team back in 2017. Yeah, Pumphrey was never as fast as Adrian Killens, but I think it was his college numbers. Or this, there was something that draft was. It's almost sickening. I can almost throw up on the floor about how many awesome running backs came out of that class, and the Eagles picked Pumphrey. Yeah, Wisconsin was very stupid not to throw to Corey Clement, and I'm still drinking some of this champagne. Look, actually, you guys haven't seen the video yet, but I did a video about the 1,000 subscribers, and I popped some bubbly, which I have right here, big ass bottle of champagne, and again, might be corny, but it's kind of a big deal to me. Monday is the first time at pads. Yep. Which is nuts. It's really crazy. Again, we've played Indianapolis this week, I think. So it's going to be odd when we have that first game. It's going to be odd without the fans, and we're going to be playing in Washington. So, I mean, they're used to not having fans either anyway. And people think I'm joking, but those stadiums are empty. I mean, except for Eagle fans during Eagle games. So it's not going to be that big a deal for them. But it's just going to be weird. It's just going to be really, really weird seeing these guys for the first time. I mean, my whole life, anytime I've watched the Eagles, there are preseason games first. Kind of got us ready as fans too. You know, these games are for the players and the coaches, but it got us fans ready for the games too, right? Jocktalkk, my man. Congrats on over 1,000 subs. I'm proud to keep it good work. Thank you so much, man. And it's again, I just got to thank all you guys for doing it, you know, for subbing and, you know, watching the content. It's just, I mean, it's humbling. It really is. And, you know, it's tough to put into words. It really, I did like I said, I did like a thank you video, and I started and restarted maybe 2 or 3 times because it's just hard finding the words. You know, I mean, you got a guy like EDP who's got 2 million subscribers, Fourth and John. I mean, they were on like NBC Philly last year. I mean, but in my world, it's huge right now. It really is, with all the negative stuff that is going on in the world, man. It was nice to see that number jump. Edwin, Killens and Hightower on kickoffs and Killens on punts. Killens is another guy with a chip on his shoulder. Yep. Put 10 more pounds on his body. Yeah, I agree with you on everything. Putting the 10 pounds on, and I don't know if Bazooka Joe's still watching, but it's hard to do. It's hard to do to put on 10 pounds and like have it be good weight. You know, there's a big difference between good weight and bad weight. Yeah, and when we were talking about the Kez Watkins catch earlier, you know, again, man, this guy and poor Rasul Douglas, what a way to start 2020 for him. Which I thought he was going to be traded. I thought Rasul Douglas was a goner from this team. I really did. But he's still there. I don't know if he's still going to be there come week 1. But again, we haven't seen anything, man. We just haven't seen anything. And yeah, Bazooka Joe says it takes a lot of discipline to gain quality size. So, you know, as you can tell from his profile picture, this is another professional wrestler with me out in California is Joe, also a bodybuilder, was my workout partner when he lived down here, taught me a lot about stuff I wish I knew, you know, a decade ago. But yeah, like he said, we look at these guys, these little players, and we go, man, if you can just throw 10 pounds on before the season starts, it'll be good. It takes a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. And in retrospect, a guy like Adrian Killens, he probably does, you know, football is his job. So, you know, he probably has a lot of time to hit the gym and to discipline his body and his diet. And diet's everything. That's that's my biggest thing that I struggle with is a good diet, especially when I have 2 kids that have metabolisms as high as the sky, you know. Eagle season, what's up, brother? Good new subscriber. Welcome to the stream. We are talking, it's a free-for-all here. It's a Sunday free-for-all. We're talking whatever anybody wants to talk about. I'm talking wide receivers, linebackers, running backs for the Eagles. The fact that we should have had preseason games by now and we don't. How do we judge his team? I mean, we're judging them on clips. We're judging them on clips that team members or team players have taken. I mean, it's crazy. That's kind of how we're judging this team right now. What did you guys think about the? This is another thing that I don't remember seeing. I know it's been done in the past, but I don't remember seeing clips of it. Was this rookie talent show? Before we close out, before we get onto that, the Adrian Killens supposedly is 183 pounds. Okay, I mean, I don't know his height. I'm 5'6" and I'm at 187 right now. So it's kind of, man, for me, if I got hit by a guy the size of, I don't know, Fletcher Cox or something, I don't know if I could survive it. But anyway, let's talk about this rookie talent show. Did you guys check this out? I did a video about Jalen Hurts. Deshaun Jackson apparently videotaped Jalen Hurts singing. They also did one with De'Veon Taylor. Again, like that's what we're getting right now instead of preseason football. It was good to see because the players are actually one of the things I've noticed in every player's media day was that the one thing that was missing from the virtual workouts was camaraderie. A lot of them liked the time off because they had a chance to work on their bodies. Zach Ertz says he feels better than he's ever felt, but they were missing that camaraderie between players. It would kind of be like, for those that are wrestling fans or wrestlers that are watching, it would kind of be like us walking into a show without ever seeing the boys, without ever seeing anybody, just going, working out and wrestling, and that's it. So to be able to see the camaraderie start to come back and them kind of hazing him, I don't know if that's the best word for it, was definitely something funny and entertaining. And I said in the video, look, I'll take anything positive at this point because this offseason, it's been a struggle, man. It has been when Doug went down with the COVID, I was like, man, it's one thing after the other. We were just getting off of hearing about Lane and Nate, Gary, and Jordan Mailata. By the way, the Eagles have nobody on that COVID list as we speak. Eagle season asks, am I a wrestler? Yes, I am. I wrestle, so I'm an independent contracted wrestler, which means I wrestle on the independent circuit. I do not have a big-time contract with one of the big companies on TV, but that is the goal. And as of right now, I mean, because of COVID, everything has just come to a halt. The bigger companies that are on TV are still putting out stuff in front of no fans on TV, which God bless them because they're really trying to do what they can with the hand that they're dealt. But it really makes me wonder about what football is going to be like without the fans. And I just hope it's not going to affect the players that much. But how could it not, right? How could it not? This is, I mean, you see it. Most of us that are Eagle fans have been to Eagle games, right? I mean, it's just something about that environment, man, and that when the momentum shifts. And I mean, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. I almost hope, I watched a lot of XFL games and they played at the New Meadowlands and there was only like, I don't know, 10,000 people there. But they still seemed like they had a lot of noise and it was still, a football environment. So I'll take 25% of fans inside the link because we could definitely make it seem like it's a full stadium. But Edwin says you got your wings ready. So I don't know what you mean, if you mean like Eagle wings or you mean like buffalo wings, because it is cheat day still for another hour, and I'm actually going to go feast on some wings when I'm done here. Looking at my Facebook comments, Flyer score. Does anybody have the Flyer score? 1:13 left to go in the game. Dave Brower says, go Flyers. I do want to see what the score to that is. I'll tell you what, I'm a 4-for-4 guy, but I am never been supremely into hockey like I am into baseball and football and basketball. But I do want to see the Flyers take it all. I think they have a great shot to do it this year. Bazooka Joe. Will they pipe in crowd noise at stadiums? I have heard they are going to do that, and I've also heard something about virtual fans. Now, look, I don't know. I watch sometimes America's Got Talent on TV. And what they did, I thought was pretty cool. And I don't know how they're going to do this. They probably won't be able to do this in a football stadium. Wrestling, maybe. But they had virtual fans. And it was basically screens all around them. And they had people like me right now in front of their camera watching, cheering, laughing, clapping, booing, doing whatever. And it sounded like there were actually people in the arena. So they got to figure something out, man. I mean, they should pipe in crowd noise. I mean, that would be whatever crowd noise guy is better. That would be some kind of advantage, maybe. Edwin says, no, Eagle wings for your wrestling character. I actually have Eagles inspired gear. I do. I have some, which now that I've hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm pretty sure I have a community tab, which I can post that in. But yeah, I do have some Eagles inspired gear because I do wrestle a lot up in the Philadelphia area. So it's crazy. Actually, because of wrestling, I don't know if you guys remember Dennis Kelly was a tackle for us, got traded for Dorian Green Beckham Jr. and everybody thought, or Dorial Green Beckham, I don't think he has the junior. Flyers win. So the Flyers I think the series is now 2-1. Flyers, awesome. But we all thought that we made that trade at that time. If you remember, we were all like, we're all sitting there going, the Titans are stupid for this. Well, they just gave us a starting wide receiver. That was 2016, Carson's first year. And come to find out, they got the better end of the trade because Dennis Kelly is still there and is a starter. But I started communicating with him because he's a big Eagle or a big wrestling fan. So, and then I was at a show, and when we had Michael Bennett, he was there because he was a wrestling fan. So it's crazy how many Vinnie Curry, another wrestling fan, how wrestling and football kind of coincide and go together there. But yeah, the Titans. Dennis, he's a big dude too. He's still the Titans. He's a big guy, man. I think it was 6'7". I might be I might be exaggerating a little bit, but he is such a huge player. He really is. And there was another guy that we had that we traded away, King Dunlap, I think. I remember he had a really bad game when he was on our team. I think he got McNabb. Winston Justice got McNabb sacked like 5 times in a row by the Giants, but I think King Dunlap he was like he had a really bad couple games with us. He went to the Chargers and was like a starter before he ended up retiring. And he was another big guy. So look, guys, I am actually going to start wrapping this up here. It has been really awesome talking to you guys. I really just wanted to get on here, one, to kind of test this out because I am on a different instead of doing it from a laptop, I am kind of on a desktop type studio right now. And also just thank everybody for the 1,000 subscribers. And Jocktalkk, I agree. Coaches, a lot of this is coaching. We have, by the way, rest in peace, Howard Mudd. He died this week. And he wasn't with us that long. I think it was a couple years. But he was the guy that everybody said, oh, if you were in Hollywood and you were to cast a football coach, you would cast Howard Mudd. I remember that. So thanks, guys. Anyway, it's again 1,000 subscribers, and we're just, man, the content is just gonna keep coming, and it's definitely, I'm definitely gonna up the ante. And look, when the season starts, it was very, very hard to come up with content during an off season, as everyone out there knows that does this. And I can't wait for the season starts, for reaction videos, preview videos, predictions, more live streams. Now that this seems to be working as I want it to, I'm going to get some guests in here. Philly Talk, again, I want to collaborate with him as well. And it's just sky's the limit, guys. And again, I thank everybody for the support, everybody for joining me tonight on a Sunday night when the Flyers were playing, because I didn't even think about that when I would do this test, which as you saw, the Flyers have won. But again, thanks everybody. This has been awesome. Really appreciate you guys. Look out for, I did a thank you video, which basically I've said it all in this stream, but I'm going to throw that up as well. I hope everybody has a hell of a Sunday night and a great week. And hopefully we just got some, with this first week in pads, we'll have some awesome stuff. And Bazooka Joe, we should get you up here too. We should get you up here at some point. Let's send you the link and you can be a guest up here. Would love that. But thanks, guys. I can sit here and talk to you guys all night long about the Philadelphia Eagles, but I have somebody waiting on me that's going to be pretty pissed off if I don't get over there right now. So thanks again, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy. Go Birds. I'll see all you later.